No, but Bully, with Seth Rollins, and you could talk about like giving me one. You're banking a lot on this fucking Seth Rollins right now. I mean, who else are you going to bank on
right now? That's their top dogs. But these are their top dogs right now.
Then go all in. Then go all Bully. If this is your top dog, this is your top.
This is all
failed.
In.
F for failure.
No. You don't get to say it failed because it has not failed and it has not come even close to failing.
A failure. Dave LaGreca calls this new faction a failure. Now, I don't know that I would go that far, but it's not really getting over with me at the moment. Now, I'm kind of with Bully on this one, as we have not seen this fully play out yet, so we can't judge it as a failure when it's only been around a couple weeks. But I can say, at least for me, it's not quite hitting those notes that I wish that it would, and I'll be happy to explain more in a moment. But before we do, let's go ahead and pop back in with the boys at Busted Open and get a more well-rounded opinion on what they feel is going on with this new faction.
I am still sticking to the way I felt from the beginning of this group. It's not that it doesn't feel right. It just feels forced. That might just be me, though. I'm sure that there's a large portion of the wrestling audience that absolutely love this. And I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm just saying it feels different so far. Doesn't feel as natural. So are you still sticking to it feels forced?
A little bit. And some of what you're saying I totally agree with.
Does that mean some of what I'm saying you totally disagree with?
I was looking forward to last night's Monday Night Raw, because I did want to hear from Heyman and I did want to hear from Seth. I heard from Heyman. I'm not on board with what I heard from Seth, and here's why. Seth has that, you were just saying about the way Heyman talks. Heel Seth has a way that he talks as well. Monday Night Raw, CM Punk, and now it's like, dude, he draws out his words, he goes way too long. We didn't need to have Seth on the mic for that long. The only thing I wanted to get from Seth last night was the one thing we didn't get from Seth last night. Why Bronson Reed? Now, I got an explanation from Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman explained that he took that he got more out of Seth than anybody else has been able to get out of Seth. He took him to the limit more than anybody else. But I really want to hear that from Seth Rollins. They had a blood feud where both those guys were taken off of TV because of the feud that they had. And now they just aligned themselves together.
With the amount of splashes that Bronson Reed gave Seth Rollins within the past year, you would think that Seth Rollins was still feeling the pain in his ribs from those tsunami bombs.
Here's the problem that I see with this faction. And also, I am so sick of seeing, it wasn't just Bully who mentioned it here. I see it all over the internet and shit as well. Oh, the new Dangerous Alliance and shit. To a lesser extent, the new Evolution. Please stop doing that. This is nowhere near the Dangerous Alliance. Just because it's a faction that is led by Paul Heyman doesn't make it the Dangerous Alliance. The Dangerous Alliance had stunning Steve Austin. Do you see a fucking Steve Austin in this group? Now, of course, Braun Breaker, destined for huge things. When Paul Heyman says that's a spoiler when he says that Braun Breaker is going to main event Mania 45, 47, 46, 40, fucking your mom's ass, like Bubba would say. I believe it. Braun Breaker's on his way to huge things. But Steve Austin, I mean, time will tell, I guess. Seth Rollins, certainly not that guy. Ravishing Rick Rude, a huge, great talent. Medusa, one of the top wrestling females of all time. Fucking beautiful Bobby Eaton, a solid technician, one of the best technicians on the planet. Larry Zbyszko at the time, who's, not the biggest star in the world, but at that time he carried more credibility. He wasn't too far removed from his huge feud with fucking Bruno, and, he was still able to actively work well in the ring. This was a faction that was to be reckoned with. This new one, it's just something different. It's not the Dangerous Alliance. But all of that aside, the problem here is Seth freaking Rollins. Braun Breaker, again, destined for huge things. I'm not the biggest fan of Braun Breaker, just me personally. It's not what I look for in a wrestler, but I have eyes and I have a brain, and I certainly understand that this guy is the future of this business. There is zero doubt about it. And more, another impressive thing about Braun Breaker, when he was in NXT still, he did an interview. This was a couple years ago now. He did an interview with Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, and he was so awkward and nervous and shy and gave like 1-word, 2-word answers. He was not good at this, He has come a long way just in his ability to present himself. Especially in interviews and stuff, he's done so much better since. That shows me he has the capability of getting better and learning. Braun Breaker's going places. Bronson Reed's just kind of there for me. I don't have anything against him, but I don't necessarily like him either. To me, he's like a fat JC Mateo. He's like, he just doesn't have the personality. I've heard him talk in interviews and stuff. He can have a personality, but he just, the big tough monster that squashes people isn't enough for me. I know a lot of people who go, oh my God, the big monster Bronson Reed, he squashes people. Cool. I need a little bit more than that. So I don't hate the guy, but I'm just meh on him, right in the middle. But Seth Rollins is the problem here. Seth Rollins is a clown. I'm not going to mince words here. Seth Rollins comes out in his fucking wife's robes, big giant red clown shoes, literal clown shoes. That they throw around the term, oh, this guy's clown shoes and stuff, which Seth Rollins fits the bill for. But to back that up, he came out one time in literal clown shoes. He's a clown. He's a joke. What I needed, and that was fine for the character at that time. When he did it, it was trying something new. Monday Night Messiah or whatever, the fucking Arca. It was a different approach from what he was doing when he came out of the Shield. But now, when he came out of WrestleMania and he aligned with Paul Heyman, I needed to see a different Seth Rollins. We probably should have got rid of the music because we don't need the fans going, whoa, whoa, when he's a heel. You want to take that shit away. We don't want to give that opportunity for the fans to get behind Seth Rollins anymore. And he needed to ditch the clown robes and the goofy gimmick and the silly talking and just everything that is Seth Rollins right now doesn't work for a heel faction. It doesn't make me take him seriously as a threat. There's zero threat here. When I look at this faction, I'm wondering why Braun Breaker doesn't just grab Seth Rollins and snap him in half. Oh, I'm going to teach you things and build you up and set you on the path for greatness in the future, but I'm the now. I don't even believe that Braun Breaker would go for that. Maybe they could have told the story that after Breaker lost the Intercontinental title, he needed a little direction. He was a lost little puppy. Sure, he'll run up and bite anybody, but he needs a master, an owner to teach him when and where to bite and how to bite and all that. I think it would have been better to just align Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker outright. Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania said, now you owe me a favor to Paul Heyman. That favor could have been costing Roman and Punk the match. Heyman could have still gone out and still had his reasons, Punk put me in a bad position. Roman was an abusive asshole to me and stuff. He made my life miserable for the whole Punk situation. Fuck them both. But to align with Seth Rollins, it doesn't necessarily work unless Seth Rollins changes completely. Does a complete 180. Now he's talking serious. Now he loses the sing-song music. He loses his wife's fucking wardrobe. He comes out and he is serious and he is dangerous. Not to play on the Dangerous Alliance thing again, but that's what should happen here. So either Rollins needed to lose the clown gimmick, or Heyman just needed to stick with Braun Breaker as a solo act and just the two of them. Either way, I think Seth Rollins is the problem here. The clown gimmick doesn't match with big, tough, serious, dangerous guys. When he came out on Monday Night Raw, we're going to take over, and Sammy, you got to blah, 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 blah. You better just leave the show because we're going to hurt you. I don't take it seriously. Can't take it seriously. It's just, there's something that's not catching on with that. You don't come out and you don't try to get the fans to sing along with you, and you don't do your clown gimmick and dress like a weirdo and stuff, and then expect to be taken as a tough guy, a dangerous guy, a serious guy, the biggest threat on the main roster. Spare me with all that. It's just not working. All I'm doing right now is waiting for the moment where Braun Breaker turns on Seth Rollins, snaps him in half like a twig, and Paul Heyman runs off with Braun Breaker. And Bronson Reed, again, he's just there. I don't know. And why add Bronson Reed? Braun Breaker was the muscle of the group. Now you got a bigger muscle? So now you just got two muscles. What are they, the fucking AOP? The fucking Authors of Pain? Is Paul Ellering going to come out now? It takes away from Braun Breaker to add Bronson Reed to that mix. And, I think Triple H has a problem with adding guys to the roster lately that they don't seem to add anything. Bronson Reed's a hell of a talent. I am not trying to shit on this guy. He is misplaced and misused currently right now. Just the big, tough monster guy doesn't do it for me. You need more. And then JC Mateo, fucking, Jeff Cobb. Jeffy Cobby! Over on SmackDown. Again, just a greasy little meatball just taking up space. Doing nothing. Oh, he throws a cool suplex. Great! Fuck him. Who cares? Good in New Japan, good in AEW. Lucha Underground, he had a sweet little gimmick going for him. Here? But we're not talking about them. We're talking about this faction, and I can't agree with Dave fully to say that this is a failed project because we haven't seen enough of it. But it's not working for me, I'll tell you that much, and the problem is Seth Rollins. But that's just my 2 cents. Love to know your 2 cents. Let me know down in the comments below while you're there. Hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're interested, pick up my book, The Gathering, A Bold Journey into the Belly of the Juggalo Underworld, a novel about a dude who goes to the gathering but hates juggalos. It's very fun. It's got 5 stars on Audible. Link in the description down below. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for checking out the video. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to rest in